Why, hello everyone. Welcome to Redneck Ways. How's everybody out there in YouTube land? Hope everybody said fine, dandy. Guys, I'm just going to kind of bring you all in with me on this and show you what's going on. I am trying to put this old barrel back together. I found this in an old basement. It had been sitting underneath the stairs for God knows how many years. And it was just, when I picked it up, it fell apart. The wires and everything was just rusted and pretty much just turned to just little flakes. And I thought, well, I could take it home and try to put it back together. That has been a fight. Putting one of these old barrels back together is not the easiest thing. So I just thought I'd bring you guys along. It's going to take a little while. I have 3 boards now glued. The only way, and I don't even know if this is going to work. We'll just have to see when we get all glued up. The only way I can figure how to get these all up together and ready to put the bands around them is going up here and gluing just from here to here. And just let them set and get hardened, then go to the next. Because every time I try to put these together and try to bunch them and tighten them, it just falls apart. So you see how I got spaces here. So when this dries here, and this when we get the complete barrel done, I'm hoping we can just put our wire here and tighten it down, and it'll close this. I had to make a bottom for it too, because the bottom, this is the original bottom, and half of it had already disintegrated into the ground. It already went back to Mother Earth. So I had to make this one, and this is cut on a bevel, and each side's a little different. So I had to file it, and I used my little thing over here to do that with. So I'm doing all this with hand tools. I use this here. I use that to get my angles. So you set it down like that, and that way you know how far to file down. And then I went all the way around on this board. It's a 1/2 inch. I used a 1/2 inch plywood. I didn't have any old pine boards big enough to make the circle. So we're just come along with me, guys, and we'll see if we can get her together. Always love these old little barrels. I think they're the coolest little thing. Used to have nails. Nails used to be shipped in these, and bolts and nuts, and all it pretty much was shipped on the railroad. There's a little bit of rotting here, but I haven't been able to make it out yet. Maybe once we get together, and maybe we can take a wet rag or something, wipe it, and see if we can see what the contents maybe have been. But I got it pretty tight. This one dried. This one here dried overnight last night. I just got this one finished. I got it pretty tight up here. And also, it's a puzzle. You can't just go and pick one of these pieces up and bring it over here. Each piece got to go right back the way it was, or it won't fit. I found that out too. So, alrighty. We'll let that dry, guys, and I'll get a couple more on, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what I've got done, and we'll just keep going. So I'll just probably document it every day, because it's going to take probably 4 or 5 days to do it, because wood glue doesn't dry very fast, and I've got to have it cured or it'll just fall apart. Alrighty, see you probably tomorrow. Alrighty, guys, now we're getting ready to put the other piece on. It's like a puzzle, guys. You just got to go through and kind of put these up to each other and see which one's going to lock. See, that one looks pretty good, but you can see how it's got a real bad split when you get right here. It locks up pretty good up here, but it splits real bad. So that one's not it. So I found the one, and it's this one. Plus, right now I'm kind of working on what was on the ground, so some of it got rot, which is still, it's still good and solid, just the rot already fell off. So this one's the one. If you can see, you can put it right up there, you can tell. You can tell that was the one. So I'm just going to wood glue this one, and I'm only wood gluing it from here to about right here, because if you step back, you see it's going to have this split all the way around. We're just getting the bottom kind of shored up, and then we'll put a piece of wire, which I've already got. Once we get everything around, we'll put the wire around it, and we'll put tension on that, and then we come up here and put wire and start tightening it, and it should bring it in. Should bring all these in. I hope I shouldn't have to try to re-steam it or nothing, because I say this is almost 100 years old, or maybe a little over. So it's laid there in the shape it's supposed to be formed. So I think once we get it down here nice and tight and get it braced, I believe when we start pulling this tight, these will come together. And then I have some metal bands that I think I'm going to put here and here. I'm not for sure yet, because they're modern. They're what they use now to wrap pallets and stuff. We'll just have to see when we get there. So yeah, I'm kind of just going like a puzzle, like I was saying. I'm going by the watermarks and everything. Now it's going to get a little bit difficult, because on the top was in a lot better shape, so there's not really no watermarks or nothing. I'll just have to fit it in as good as I can, but it's got to be the right piece or it won't go back right. So I'll get this one glued up, and I'll get a couple more, and when I get half of it, I'll show you what it's looking like. Alrighty guys, we are back, and we got a lot of it already done. Actually, I've got all of it pretty much glued. We got one more piece here to put it together. Kind of bring you over here and show you what's going on. I mean, it's been a rascal to get back together. I had to make a little mount for the soda to set on. I had to cut a new round because this was broke, so I cut another bottom, and that kind of stabilized things up front as I glued everything back. And then I had, like I said, make a mount down here. It's been a headache, but we got it all glued. Only glued from here to here. That helps me get the thing, you know, wired. I'm gonna put a wire around this first, and that should stabilize things. And then we'll come up, we'll put our bottom in, because the bottom goes into these grooves. And then I'm going to take this strap, and we're going to crank it down, and hopefully we'll get this to pull together, and it should look like up here the same. And then we'll get our wires. I've got to get our staples put in. It's crazy, guys, because the wood survived. This wood survived 100%. But anything that was metal on this, it just gone. It rusted away and just disintegrated. It's supposed to have a strap here. I believe up here. It may, yeah, I think it had a strap up here. The staples actually rusted away and just disintegrated. There's supposed to be nails. Here's one nail hole here. There should be another nail hole. But anyway, the nails that held the bottom to the floor, they disintegrated. I mean, it's crazy that there's really no metal left. Only metal that was left was the wires going here, and they broke. I mean, as soon as I touched them, they just crumbled. So it's crazy that the wood outlasts the metal, but it did. But over here, guys, we got a little one. And here, let me get y'all turned around. we got a small one here, guys. It's a little bit smaller than the one we're working on. And this has been my mom and dad's for a really long time. It sits in our kitchen, in mom and dad's kitchen, and it's been in there for years. And mom keeps her umbrellas and stuff like that. Like I said, it's a little bit smaller, but we can get a little look at it. Now, I wish I had the same gauge wire. Mine's going to be a little bit smaller. We're going to be using old belling wire from Straw and Hay. I'm just going to use that. I couldn't find anything this thick, but I think it'll hold. Maybe if I double that belling wire up, it'll be alright. I have some metal for the, like this. See how it's got this metal ring around it? That's what I was talking about, disintegrating. It's just gone. So I do have a piece of metal band that we may use, but it's modern, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to use it. And it doesn't have this lip. This has like a lip that goes around on the top and bottom, so I'm not going to be able to probably get that looking that perfect. I don't even know if I'm going to put the metal on, to tell you the truth. We'll just have to see when we get there. But I was going to tell you a little bit about the barrels. I looked up on some information, and I was looking to see exactly when they quit using wooden barrels, because now everything, of course, is plastic and metal, and then boxes. But I got kind of looked back at some forums, and there was the same question was on there, and when did they quit making these? And for what everybody knows, pretty much, it happened probably right after World War One, because by World War II they was using metal. If you look at the pictures, the old military pictures and stuff, you'll see that they have metal cans, and actually they call them kegs instead of barrels, so it's a wooden keg. Now back in the day, your glass makers and stuff like that, which they may still use them, but they would put straw in here, and they would put their glassware that they would be shipping out in a barrel. If you watched Little House on the Prairie when you was growing up, or just if you watched Little House on the Prairie, I remember there's been a couple of times at the Nelson's thrift store, you would see her take plates and stuff out of a barrel, and they would have straw in it. But yeah, about the last barrels, pretty much 1960 was probably the last of the barrels, and by then they probably wasn't getting used very much. But they would ship nails, spikes, any type of metals like that on the train. And actually, they said on the forums, one guy was saying he had I don't know if he worked in the factory or what, but he was saying that when they started going to metal and stuff and shipping it other means than railroad, it actually hurt the railroad a little bit on shipping because of the wooden barrels, because a lot of this was shipped on rail. So that's a little bit of history on it. So yeah, about 1960, it was about the last of these been used in the shipping department. And I say this one's probably over 100 years old, and the one we're working on is probably over 100, or right at 100. But alright, what we're going to do, guys, now is we're going to try to get this last piece glued. You can see on this last piece it has a big break here. It's got a big square broke out of it. This is going to have a lot of character, this old keg is. So I've got to take this out. I need to get that floor out, the bottom, and then hopefully I can set it up right and put these two pieces, glue them together, and let that set for probably about an hour, and then we'll come back and we'll start putting the bands on it. and see if we have a nice looking barrel. I probably have to do a little bit more work to the bottom too. I think I'm going to have to take the file, and there's a couple little places I need to file, so it will lock into these little grooves. So alrighty guys, let me get you guys set down here, and we'll see if we can get this this going. Alright guys, I'm going to take this apart as easy as I can, because these two pieces here I just glued about an hour ago, and I'm afraid they're going to break off on me. Hopefully not. Wood glue, man, is strong stuff. It really is. So this, I'm going to take the old that was the old bottom, and it's got this bevel here that was hard to make without a router, and it's got two different angles. It's got a pretty steep pitch here, and this one's not as bad, but you can see there's one of the nails of how rusty it is inside there, but the rest of them are just gone. I don't know how that, I mean, it just rusted away out of the wood. We'll set that aside. Now I gotta get all these little pieces out here. It took a lot of little things. I just had to do it as make things up as I went, because you wouldn't think it'd be hard to get this glued in, but it was one of the hardest things I ever glued, and I'm still not 100% sure it's going to work out. Here's another piece of wood. Another piece of wood. Now this should slide out, I'm hoping. I'm hoping this one's coming out there. There we go. There's the floor. I hope we can get it in a let's set this aside, because I've got some work to do still on this. I'm actually got to go around it. I got the edge pretty well filed down, but it's real sharp. I'm going to have to kind of take a little of that sharpness off the edge. And also I think I'm going to sand that old paint off of it, and either spray paint it black or stain it. I'm not for sure yet what I'm going to do with that. So much stuff sitting here. Let's see. Oh, well, that one wasn't held together good. That's what I was afraid of. So I'm going to have to glue that one back. I better leave it set right here. And I'm going to try to get a wire around it. I'm going to set just like that. And I am going to try to go ahead and get a wire around this thing before it all falls apart, because I just put a little smear of glue here because I wanted to try to get it back as original as possible, and I didn't want to use a bunch of wood glue. So let's try to get a wire around it, guys. I don't know if we're going to get this old barrel back together or not. I am closer now than I've ever been. what I need is probably another one of these. Of course, this one is underneath here. With that having that break up here, I just need a little bit more slack. There we go. Something tells me that my ratchet strap ain't gonna work. I think it's coming together pretty good. That's pretty tight. So at least I know it ain't gonna fall apart. And of course, I should have took this off, this wire, because I've got, maybe I can slide it around here. Let me slide it out. I'm going to have to just cut that off there with a pair of clippers. Let me see here. There we go. Now what I'm going to have to do, I've got to make a wire that's going to fit perfect around this to keep that good and tight. And the way they've done it, which I don't know how, but they have just took a wire and they wrapped it around. I guess they slid it over the top. I don't know. I'm not a barrel or a keg builder, that's for sure. So, alright guys, I'm going to mess around with this a little bit off camera, see what I can do. I've got to get a way to brace it like this is here, good and tight. Guten tight. So when I get that taken care of, I'll be back. Alrighty, guys. What we're going to do now, I've already got the bottom in there, and I've got it a ½ inch setting off the table. I put some spacers. That way it'll line up with those notches in here. And hopefully this works. And if it works, it'll start closing all this up. It should bring us all in. And I'm just thinking about something. I've got to put nails in there. Well, maybe I can get it tight, and then we'll take a wire and wrap it real tight, and we can take these off. That's what we're shooting for. Alright. So if this works, this will close up, and it should close in onto the bottom. Here, pop it. Make sure. Oh, sorry guys. Didn't mean to about knock you over. Alright, everything hooked so far so good. It's closing. It's cracking and popping. One more time, and it should be good. Oh, I can't hardly get it. Oh. Alright, I'm not going to be able to get it that one more time. I was wanting that to pull in. Maybe it's my bottom. Let me see if I can peck on the bottom a little bit and get it to pop in. It's in the grooves. I just don't think it's going to be perfect, guys. I don't think I'm going to be able to seal it all the way up. It's going to be a leaky keg. But it's going to be more for decoration than anything. If I could just crank it one more time. Oh, God. It popped up here. Maybe I can get this one more time. No. No. Yeah, that's as good as we're going to get it, guys. Can't get it no tighter. If I could steam it, if I could have steamed it, it'd have probably been better. But we're going to have a few little places. But it's for decoration only. And I wish that didn't happen. It happened on 2 of them. But probably when we let off some pressure, hopefully that'll go back in. But I'm going to put a band around that. And I'll pull that in up here. I was just wanting this to pull in a little bit better. It did so good on all the rest of them. Just a couple. Alright, now we've got to figure out. Got to figure out, guys. I guess I'm going to take a wire around it and just start tightening it. Because I got to fix it where I don't have those straps on it. And then we got to nail the bottom into it. Alright, guys, what I'm going to do, I just took 2 of these baling wires and I'm going to wrap them. I put them in the vise so I can hold pressure. And I'm just going to wrap it like this. Because one of these is not going to be enough. Because as soon as I put pressure, tighten down pressure, I know it's gonna break. This belly wire is like that. It's kind of like rebar wire. So I'm just gonna go down like that and make a good strong wire. And that's what we're going to wrap around, and then we're just going to twist it as tight as we can get it on the barrel. And then hopefully, and I'm saying hopefully, with thinking that this may not even work, but we're going to give it our best. So let me get this all wrapped just like that all the way down, and I'll be back. Alright guys, this is what I got. I just crossed it. I made this wire thicker by just putting two together. So I want to take these big old vice grips, or not vice grips, channel locks, and we're going to tighten it down. Try to. See if I'm going the right way. No, I was going the wrong way. Make sure everything's up where it goes. Everything's there. I don't want to put too much because this stuff will break. That's tight. If I go any tighter, I'll probably break this wire. And I heard the wood crack, so let's see what it does. Hopefully, well, yeah, because we've got to nail the bottom. So hopefully when I let go of this strap, it stays put. Let's go ahead and cut this wire. Go ahead and cut the excess off that. I'll do that off camera. Well, if I got my cutters, I'll do it right now. And I gotta get my cutters. Good and tight. So let's see, hopefully it stays. And it did. It stayed. Alright. So on this, tighten that wire on around. I mean, we've got some cracks, but like I said, it's going to be for decoration. Now, we got to nail the bottom. We got to get the bottom nailed. So, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get a drill, and I'm going to drill a small pinhole to get start a starting point, and we're just going to get this nailed down where it ain't going to go nowhere. So let me go get, I actually going to use tacks because I couldn't find, I was wanting to keep this as original as possible, and I couldn't find no nails that would look right, so I end up finding some big tacks, and I'll show you guys right here in a second. Alright guys, this is where it comes in. Another thing I'm got running in my head if I want to do it or not. That's using this metal band, and I've got to do it now if I'm going to do it. So it's very modern. the only reason I don't want to use it. But I think I could put it on here and sand it, and maybe take some vinegar and metal shavings and rust it up, and it might look pretty good. So I guess that's what I'm going to do. So I gotta get the bends out of it here. So that's what we're getting ready to do. I'm gonna drill holes here. I'm gonna go around through it, drill where the old hose is into the wood, drill this, and put this in there. I think it'll look pretty good. And it'll protect this bottom, because this bottom has got a lot of breakage. So I'm going to try to use it. This stuff is not very easy to work with. It wants to fly up and hit you in the face and everything. So, alright. I'm going to drill some holes here, guys, and try to get this on, and I'll be back. We'll nail this to the keg. Oh, I changed my mind, guys. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use these little tacks, guys. They're not so little, but they are tacks. I'm going to use these. We're just going to go ahead and nail the bottom. We're going to get that nailed down. That way I know everything is good and tight. And then if I want to put that metal on, I'll put the metal on. So let's put some nails in this thing. I think everything's lined up. I'm going to put a little wood glue on these tacks. That way they stay in. Just a little smear wood glue. I think it's in there. Stick it in this original hole. We're going to tack it. And then I can put the metal, make sure it didn't go through the wood. Perfect. So I'm going to probably have to drill some new holes too, because not every one of these were nailed, and I'm going to have to nail them all to bring us in a little tighter. Thank goodness this ain't going to have to be in use anymore, because it's not going to be as strong as it used to be, that's for sure. But it's sure going to look good sitting around, I think. Have you guys ever had to use a broken drill bit? I've got to get to Harbor Freight and get me some more. But this actually will drill a hole, even though it's broke. I guess where it's just so sharp, where it broke off. I guess this is the one that spins on me though. I'm gonna put another one in this. Another tack. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to sand. Well, if I put that band around it, you won't see these black tacks. I tried to find just regular metal tacks, or little. I just wanted to find the little tiny nails, like used to be in this, and I could not find them. I went to Ace, of course I didn't. That's the only place I did go, was Ace Hardware. I wanted to get home today. I didn't want to have to run over Creation, but I figured they would have them if anybody would. So put this one in. That wood glue kind of made a mess. Wipe it off. That's in tight. Now I'm going to go back. I was ever bored. I want to put one in. That way I know it's all good, secure. through on me. The other side. Take it straight. That's you. There we go. Good top. Alright guys, I'm going to go all the way around the barrel and do that and get that all secure. And when I get back, we'll discuss. We're going to put that piece of metal on there. Alrighty guys, it closed up pretty good. Like I said, I don't know what I'm going to do about that metal strip. I just don't know yet. So now guys, the next thing we got to do, we got to put our staples back in. And I hope I got the right size. I think they're going to be a shade too long, but let me go get them. Alright guys, I bet you anything is going to be too big. But I couldn't find no other one. I couldn't find anything smaller. But we may be able to cut them down if they are. Let's see. Where's my glasses? Yeah, they're going to be... They're going to be a little too long. I'm just going to take these guys and take the grinder and cut them down. They probably had all this special staples and all this when they building this. Of course, I ain't saying that they're not out there, but I couldn't find them. Little short ones, what I needed. Little short ones. I don't know which. Should I put it that way and cut it? I need it at an angle though. I gotta try to make them a little sharp. This will cut them right there. Let me get the gloves on. I learned my lesson. Not wearing gloves with one of these grinders one day. Wasn't too good. Well, I don't know if that's going to work or not. Get a little water on it. And I dropped it. I may have made it too small. No, I think it's just right. So, I've got to do about 8 more of those guys. And that's about perfect. Alright. I'm going to cut 8 more of those. And I'll be back. Alright guys, we're getting closer. I did go ahead and put that black band on there. It's rusting up already, so I think it's going to look good. It kind of looked funny without it, So I've got that on. I'm now working on the wire up here, and then I guess one more band and we'll be done. I just want to show y'all how it's coming. And it's coming along. Alright guys, I got one more band to do and we're done with this puppy. We're done with it. There ain't much more I can do with it. See, the more I do, the worse it may get, because this stuff is starting to get fragile. And this is the size staple I need, guys. Something about that size. I put that one in, but I'm not putting any more because I've tried over here and it started cracking. So I don't want that. So I've got to make one more band like this. And how I did that was I just took and I measured it out, and then I bent each end, and then I closed it on top of each other, and then I put it on there, and when I pushed it on, it just tightened up. Now you see I got cracks. I don't know what's going on. It's just the way it's going to be. It's the only two I got. Everything else sealed up. These two here. The rest of the barrel sealed up pretty good. I don't know. It's just, I guess we're so old. But it's almost back together. I want to go ahead and put that last band here on top, because I'm going to have to. If I don't, it's going to fall apart. Every piece of strength I give it, it's going to help it. So let me get that cut, put it on, and then we'll look at the final project. Alright guys, I'm doing the final touch to it. Just going to show you how I did this band. I cut it to size, and I bent it over. See how I got it bent? And then these two hook in like that. And then I'll just take the hammer and I'll mash it. And then we'll slip that down over the barrel. Alright guys, go ahead and put this on. It should finish it up. Now I am going to be on the lookout for some staples. When I get those, I'll put them in. Let's put this on the top here. And I actually had the words on the out. I didn't want those on. Oh well. It has numbers. I was trying to keep those in the back. Now this goes down. I'll take a screwdriver and a hammer, and I'll go around it. Driving this ring down on there and tighten. I gotta get a sharp drill bit, because the drill that I have, it won't cut through this metal. It's pretty strong metal, and my blades are dull. And there we go, guys. We got it done. We licked it. We got it licked. There we go, guys. Another keg for the collection. That old thing was harder than what I thought it would be. But I am glad to have it done, because I'm glad I've got it. Alrighty guys, I hope you're all having a great weekend so far. Just starting, ain't it? It's Friday. Finishing this up on Friday evening, October the 25th. You gotta stay safe out there. Until the next one, I'll see you right here, Redneck Ways. Bye, guys.